That's the show. Everything looks okay.
That's good, Joe. Thanks. We are live, sir. How are you today?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
I'm glad.
Yeah, no, just feeling good about everything. You see all this doom and gloom, but man, I just don't see it the same way. So,
good.
I mean, I don't see what's the bad thing about a recession. Okay. Why is that such a bad word? It just means the economy's slowing down and contracting a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean the stock market tanks.
No, I
mean crypto tanks.
I mean, I think for some average folks, there's some problems with potential job loss and shit. But right now, there doesn't seem to be a lot of problems in the job market. So,
I do get that. Of course. Yeah, no, there is a lot of when there is economic contraction, companies tend to start reviewing employees and they start trying to prioritize the true producers. So you might want to buckle down a little bit, but at the same time, we were all talking like 4 weeks ago about some alleged recession the first half of the year, and then all the other articles say, oh yeah, the yield curve's tipped. That's an indicator of an upcoming recession. So I'm like, did we have it? Are we in it? Is it coming? What? I don't know. So I choose to think that with the indication that there's why nobody thought this is beyond me, that there's more interest rate hikes to come, and then the market sells off some when we hear that, and then it rebounds, a day or two later. So to me, I think that's playing again on this dollar swing where, China cut interest rates. I think Turkey cut interest rates. UK has been raising, and Europe's started to raise. So to me, I think that we're attracting a lot of overseas capital that's coming into the stock market and equities. That's holding it up while some people choose to rebalance their portfolios or sell or do whatever. So again, I just don't know what's coming. I don't see, I think it's still looking okay. Now, what that means for crypto in my mind is that, until you have risk on money available, which is usually, winnings. Yeah. You're not going to see a big influx of new money in other than the institutional stuff. Now, I don't know if you're not going to see retail in my mind. Right. I don't know what's going on with the whales, retail and institutional. I don't know what's going on with institutions. It seems like they're buying, but, I just don't, every time there's a big dip in the market, equities market, people buy. When you look at the Nikkei futures, you look at the global indices, you just don't see, I haven't looked in a couple hours, but you just don't see total carnage there. And then I looked at the things this morning. I saw ETH was up 10% at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So now I think it's like 3 or 4 or something, but there's just a lot of capital moving around.
Yeah. And Bitcoin's below 20, 19,816. Up, back up again. That was quick as I was speaking. Bouncing around there. And ETH at 1529. So, 0.55% up over 24 hours. Not horrible, maintaining that sideways slide on Ethereum. Yeah. Look, Bitcoin's down, but
I think, like you said, I think Bitcoin's just sitting in that range right now. That we talked about on the show a few times, that sort of, I guess if it's in a true bottom, it sits there on average 12 weeks. I think that started June 15th. So but that's a 50% wide band too. So, if stuff's moving up and down 50%, you can make money in that market. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But the question with Bitcoin is,
if you want to trade it,
does it break down or does it break up? And we just don't know at this point. Now, ETH to me, got 100% band there of up and downs from the low. To me, everything there is driving toward that September 15th date. And that's different because I don't feel like ETH is sitting in that bottom range like we talk about Bitcoin, because ETH has got a big event coming up. And so to me, that's a little bit different. But I think there's opportunities to trade going into that merge. And I think there's, a lot of stuff that we've talked about in other aspects, other shows, with the proof of work and the ETC and, the shorts and all that other stuff. There's ways to do stuff there. So I don't see any lack of activity. I just see it kind of just informationally slow right now. Maybe we just got so PTSD'd out by all the friggin' 3AC, Terra, Celsius, blah, 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 that now nothing really is left to go down. I don't know, but I'm not feeling, I mean, I don't feel like horribly bearish.
Right. So, no, that's good. That's very good.
I don't know if that makes sense to you or not.
No, it does. And I get it. I'm kind of in muddled brain mode because I'm still friggin'
That's right.
Woke up this morning, felt like I've been drinking all night. I don't know how long it's gonna take to shake this friggin' COVID, but it's not making me happy.
So why?
And so I'm, staying drugged up and et cetera. But I mean, part of my comfort is probably because I have a lot over in stables right now. And have had for a while. So that's part of it. The other part is I'm diving deep into this Canto blockchain and having a lot of fun with it and working on some other stuff. And but look, I have kind of accepted in my head that the stuff that Sean and others are predicting for Bitcoin or Ethereum is possible. 13 for Bitcoin, 700-800 for ETH. I think they're possible. It's always possible. So I think I've kind of accepted that that's a potential outcome that happens here. And it's also a potential significant opportunity if it does hit those lows. I mean, those are kind of like change your life lows to buy in and expect it to go back, and break all-time highs eventually. So I feel comfortable. I don't feel stressed over the market right now, but other folks are.
Yeah, but look, if it's whether you're trading or you're hodling, just buying and accumulating everything, I think both win right now. I would feel comfortable if I was going in with a bunch of money right now or starting to go in, I would feel comfortable with both BTC and ETH to start accumulating.
Right.
But I would keep dry powder just in case there is one of those big corrections like that. But if that happens, it's going to be V. It's not going to be like another bottom. It's going to be the wick down because there's just too much institutional buying going on.
Yeah.
And there's too much, 26 countries or 28 countries looking at central bank coins and tokens, all of the uptake within the regulated environment in the US. I mean, there's just too much adoption. Before in 2018, 2019, I was always like, could this shit go to zero?
Right.
And, I don't feel it can anymore.
No, I don't either.
Think it can be destroyed.
I have zero belief that that's going to happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, it would have to be, the solar flare incident or something, but that would take out everything else too. So,
yeah. Nothing else matters at that point.
That would take the banks out too. So,
by the way,
I'm sure they're shielded and shit. But the point is that I don't feel like, I feel like you're in that bottom worst case scenario doesn't exist anymore in my mind. I'm not quantifying.
Yeah.
If I do quantify it, it's an opportunity at this point.
Right.
If it does be wick down. So
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. Speaking of, you made me think of something when you said solar flare. Highly recommend a fictional podcast called Solar that my son and I have been listening to together. Really, really cool sci-fi space.
Dystopian, post-apocalyptic thing?
Not quite that, but could be, but you don't know it because everything's centered on this, primarily on this spaceship doing experiments near the sun. But really, really well done, well acted, fictional podcast. Really, really, really good. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Solar. Okay, so Joe, I'm actually considering quick early retirement. You remember the other day we talked about Fubar getting his own Canto, CANTOE.
Yeah, is that NFT?
That NFT. Well, guess what happened yesterday?
You got one?
I got one. The guys at Canto's honored me with my own Canto. So, life's kind of complete at this point. Don't think I need much else.
So you're listing it up on OpenSea?
Hell no. They haven't even they haven't transferred it to my wallet
No,
yet.
that's what I was gonna say.
But
Secondary market.
I had fun trying to explain this to my wife. And think about that, right? So first, kind of these pixelated NFTs and how they became popular, what the NFTs are. And then the idea of another blockchain called Canto, and then the joke of it being each of the heads being a toe. She was just like, your friends are weird.
Yeah, I don't see that one going over with your wife like that. I think you got to lead with. Remember how all those Bored Apes went up to like 37 million or 14 million or 3 million?
I tried that. I tried that, and she said, "Bored Apes? What are Bored Apes?" And I was
but
like,
the point is that you didn't spend any money for it.
Exactly.
And it has tremendous infinite upside.
That's it. It should be worth billions eventually.
It could be one day. If the Canto guys execute, basically. No, I'm just teasing, fellas, if you're listening.
It's great. Yeah. Look, it's great marketing for the chain. I love that this kind of fun, whimsical NFT project is there. It's very cool. It's fun. So
it's got the feeling of early Doki Doki in the sense of, that kind of pixelated, sort of classic look to it. Or what were those? What were the ones that were? God, I'm trying to remember the NFTs that were in Doki Doki, not the pure anime ones, but the ones that were kind of like this.
I know what you're talking about. What's the name for it? Are you talking about the Chibis?
Yeah, I don't think it was the Chibis, like the ETH, BTC.
Oh, those. Yeah, the ones that represented each token.
Those are Chibis.
I can't remember what they called them, but those were cool.
Wasn't there something like this that was pixelated where like Elon Musk, it was like
no, that was Titan. That was Titan's NFTs. Titan. Yeah, Titan did those NFTs.
Yeah. Those were pretty clever too. Kind of a similar look and feel. With the pixelation.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that's the big news.
Well, congratulations, man. That's
thanks,
awesome.
man. I'm a superstar now. So
wow, you ought to use it as like your your friggin', what do you call it, avatar, like for
I did that. I changed it on Twitter to that. So
good, cool.
Yeah. So Amin Goon Sarir replied, responded to the accusations of CryptoLeaks.info, and basically spun this as, look, this attorney, he's not that big a deal. He only did a couple of little things for us in defense on little cases and issues. I'm so disheartened that, people in crypto are taking this seriously. It's all bullshit. It's all a lie. And he's lying. We have not, he doesn't represent us on major issues and items. Roche agreed that this was a lie and wasn't true. He's not responsible for regulatory matters, not on their executive team, and rarely use him for outside advice.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but is this another response from him than the one we talked about yesterday, or is this the same one?
Did we talk about it yesterday? Such a blur. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just trying to figure out.
No. Yesterday yesterday there was a tweet. I think this came out later. Whatever. Okay. We'll redund it. Well, it's redundant.
But you're right. Yeah. No, it just seems very similar. I just wanted to make sure.
I think this came out yesterday after the show, the actual statement, but it could have been I brought it up yesterday and I don't fucking remember because I'm so drugged up. But the problem is this. He has multiple times tweeted touting how brilliant Kyle Roche is and his law firm is, and touted his excellent casework in the crypto space and suing against evil people, and how he is he's backing, how he is charging forward. He's part of this whole thing that they were going to do with the litigation fund within crypto as a DAO. And he recommended him. And then now some emails have surfaced where he's saying how brilliant Kyle is, and he's going to be the lead guy for this big project, for this litigation funding thing that they're doing together. So, I'm going to kind of take him at his word because we don't have any hard evidence. I did think that Kyle was probably, Roche was probably exaggerating their relationship and exaggerating how much he had done. But, it's still a bad look overall. And it kind of speaks to the idea of think about who you have. If you're going, if you're this big and you're this famous, think about who you have on your team, right? And somebody like this, here's my response would have been. He said in this, look, when Kyle Roche started suing Solana and IDC, was it IDC? ICP,
yeah.
We told him we were opposed to that. We didn't agree with it. And our chief counsel or chief technology officer actually wrote an entire article about how bad this is. Well, that's the point where you say, you know what, dude, we don't want anything to do with you. That's when you fire him and you make it public and you say, he'll never have anything to do with us. We will not ever have him any legal representation for us, etc. So at this point, it's a he said, she said. And I don't think we'll ever get down to the nitty gritty of this. Frankly, I think it's harming the good people that work in Avalanche, the people who build there and promote there and grow and invest there. And it's a great chain and it's a great protocol and it functions beautifully. So I think at this point, there's not much more to be said about this unless something really scandalous comes out further. I think the guys at Crypto Leaks hopefully have learned some lessons about how they present accusations. They still have refused to release the entire video, which I think they should have done from day one so people could see everything in context. But I think at this point, it's kind of moot and we should all just kind of move along. But I wanted to note his actual response and make sure we cover
it kind of seems like we're talking a lot about, somebody that just threw out a accusation for whatever reason. But what did Eamon should do? It seems to me like when you see the video and the parts of it, he's drunk at the office party talking it up. These guys were probably out getting hammered together and talking up shit, and people remember it differently and stuff. But like you said, this is a $14.7 billion entity.
Right.
You should not be hanging out with these kinds of people.
Exactly.
And you need to separate from them publicly and be like, while his work was top tier for us at all times, we don't share the perspective he does of suing other protocols. And so while we aren't involved in that, just to make sure there's no mischaracterization of our roles together or our endorsement of that we're severing ties. But, we wish him the best. Something like that. You cut him loose.
Exactly.
And stick with like the big guys, Denton's, Hogan, all those big time firms, because they're the ones that keep you out of jail.
Exactly.
They're the ones that send in the ex-prime minister to go, hey, he's a good guy. Or she's a good gal, whatever. They're a good person,
Totally agree. So anyway, I just wanted to give fair coverage there. And at this point, I don't think we're going to prove anything. So, let's move along. This is a cool tool. I'm going to put it in the, it's just a spreadsheet on Google Docs, but it's an awesome list of, some of the bigger projects, 1,500 projects in DeFi, categories, URLs, et cetera. And I'll put it in the show notes, but it's I love when people do this kind of shit. Just start putting together resources that people can use. So somebody the other day put together one of all the biggest crypto VC firms and investment firms and angel groups, another spreadsheet like that. So just good shit to have, good tools to use, a great way to kind of go through and do research on projects. So thought it was a good thing to bring up.
Yeah, definitely. That's in our Telegram channel, right? Too.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's in the Telegram channel. DeFi Llama, they just keep kind of cranking away on their projects and building out cool stuff. I'm going to talk about them a little more in just a minute. But they just launched this tool, which is really smart because, we're finding that more and more websites are more and more scammers are trying to take over Google search results, right? And they do that with ads or they do that with SEO, and then they can put up a website for, let's say it's Wonderland, right? they can put up a website that looks like the Wonderland website. It's not the actual domain of Wonderland, and then they can capture and intercept people's deposits, etc. Right? So they're scamming people. So DeFi Llama was smart, and they launched a tool so that if you want to find a protocol that they have of all the ones they have listed in their system, you can put in the name in this search box, click it, and it'll take you to their website. So you know that the website you're going to is safe, that it is the actual website of the protocol. So really simple thing, but actually a cool tool. What I think they should do is release it as a browser extension, so that anytime you do a search on one of the protocols that's in their list, it'll show you whether that's the correct domain or not that you're going to, or pop up something and say, whoop, that's not the right site, right? So anyway, thought this was very cool. I loved that they're building it and offering it out to the world. It's smart. They also launched something that we've talked about in the past, which is a tool to show you liquidation levels. Now, this doesn't get as granular as I'd like on the lending liquidation levels in terms of allowing projects from an API perspective to see which protocols or which tokens are in the greatest risk or greatest danger, so they could actually automatically change how things function. But it's a great chart and data on kind of where the markets are in terms of liquidation risks based, for each of the primary major protocols. Shows the amounts, and then shows where they are currently on a chart and a table. So anyway, it shows your current liquidatable amounts, everything. DeFi Llama is just cranking, and this is not the DeFi Llama show, but I don't think I talked about this yesterday. Just tell me and I'll stop if I did. You remember when we talked about the Superfluid, right? Yes. And the ability to stream payments. And we talked about this project launching called Llama Pay. At the time, it should have made sense. I didn't realize it was a project from DeFi Llama. But we talked about the fact that Llama Pay was a competitor to them, but they vertically focused on strictly targeting treasuries, projects, and protocols paying people to do work for them, right? So they launched a streaming payment system called Llama Pay that allowed you to easily set up payments for people that are doing work for you, and they targeted protocols, right? Which was, to me and you both, we both talked about the time about verticalizing, getting niched down, making sure you're focused, right? And we talked about the fact that Superfluid, which is this big, broad protocol for integrations as opposed to being just a pay service, could lose out on some market share. Well, Llama Pay has grown quite successfully. So they did this entire thread on how they basically only spent in the low 5 figures and were competing against Superfluid and have grown pretty dramatically. They only have one developer on the team that's dedicated to it. All they're focused on is making the best product as possible. They talk about the fact that the more people you have, the more complex it gets, the more difficult it makes to keep a product simple. The only marketing they've done, they have nobody assigned to marketing, and all they do is they hire an artist to draw these for every protocol that starts using Llama Pay. And then they put it out and promote it, and then that protocol promotes it and talks about it, etc. And that's it. That's all they have done. Anyway, they spend the rest of the time getting into, in this thread, it's a really cool thread, just talking about the fact that guerrilla marketing, keeping things simple, verticalizing, niching down were the keys to them being successful. And look, I still love Superfluid. I think as a protocol, it makes a lot of sense. But at the time this launched, I actually sent a message because I have a pretty good relationship with the founders over there, and said, hey guys, maybe release a branded product that's niche targeted like Llama Pay is doing, because you already have the platform to do it. The interesting thing is everything that Llama Pay does now and offers, you can go to the Superfluid website and do it, right? It was already there, and it's even more powerful, but you can easily do what you can do on Llama Pay in the Superfluid dashboard, not without writing code. Just go in and set up payments for people. But because they focused their messaging on protocols and then targeted protocols, I'm sure in biz dev, because they have relationships with all the protocols because they have DeFi Llama, they were able to sign up a lot more people to use it and talk about it with their guerrilla marketing. So anybody building something out there, think about your niches, think about niching down, start smaller or start with multiple niches, but focus on it, keep it simple, etc. I thought this was just a really good example of kind of good startup practice for this space.
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, I was thinking about, sort of backtrack a tiny bit to DeFi Llama for a second. Oh yeah, Shizzy also asked if the liquidation list was just for CeFi.
I think it's only DeFi. Yeah, it's all DeFi. There's no CeFi in there.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about that click through to the website that you highlighted at the beginning. And I was thinking about CoinGecko, how they show like, put the website address. And I don't know if you click through or what, but I'm wondering if there's like, we talk about all the hackers, if someone could get into DeFi Llama and hack that link to where it's a different website address. I wonder if they're taking I wonder if they're taking a liability by facilitating the click through versus just posting the website.
I'm sure they are taking a liability. I guess they probably have a lot of belief in the security of their servers and how they secure them. I would assume. I don't know, but definitely that could be a risk. But it's certainly safer these days than Google's results for DeFi protocols at this time.
Well, I was involved with an M&A transaction 10 years ago. It's a company out of New York that did that search engine optimization. And there was a bidding war between an Indian company and the Chinese company actually got them in the end. But they have like warehouses in Kazakhstan. Well, I don't know if they still do, but they did then. Kazakhstan and Ukraine and St. Petersburg with like tens of thousands of people in them. And all they did was repeatedly search that word all day long to manipulate the Google search algorithms. It's not like they're, that's what SEO really is. It's not refining your little text so that people find it in search results. It's some friggin' horde of people banging on the search button all day. Yeah. So it gets manipulated. So that's a good thing either way to kind of try to cut that out.
Absolutely.
At the Google level.
It's good stuff. Yeah. So, I forgot what their project was called. Hold on a second. Use Jigger is some kind of tool for helping projects get bots out of their system. But they did an analysis of 60 plus DeFi or GameFi services. They found 200,000 bots, and on average, every Web3 game has 40% of the users are bots. Great way to sell their product, right? Because they provide a method for people to just they can detect the bots, and then every bot that they detect, they put up a CAPTCHA. Well, they actually put up a barcode that the user has to scan to validate that they're a human. But really great way to market your product by saying, hey guys, we know that you are, this is the CAPTCHA thing they do when they detect a bot. So if you integrate their product into your platform, you'll be able to detect bots and eliminate them. The interesting question becomes how many protocols actually want to detect the bots?
Yeah,
right? That's what I was going to say. Because you want that user count, you want the volume, you want the activity. But if they're genuine in their desire to, really grow a community and an ecosystem, then it would make sense using a service like this. They have a database. Let me go to the database of all the ones they found in this search.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Right?
Here it is.
Anarchist.
So this is all of them. I wish they had a method to search on to sort on this by the percent of. But you can see this game, Ariva, has 87% bots. BuySwap, 35%. This one, Radio Kaka.
I haven't heard of any of these other than Anarchy X or whatever.
Yeah.
Bottom right.
Let me see. Coin98 I've heard of. 69%.
Chain of Legends, yeah. Chain of Legends.
I don't know Sunflower Ends. Karmaverse Zombie Serum at 96% of their users are bots. These are only BSC and Polygon games, by the way. I didn't see any other chains on here. Oh yeah, Anarchy X, 84%.
Avagochi right there. 30. No, you were going down a little bit right there.
Oh, there it is. 32%. Yeah. Avagachi. Yeah, not too bad. Anything else we recognize here? Tower at 25%. Venus. I think
I've seen a lot of these names, but I just never did anything with them.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Keep scrolling down, please.
I will, sir.
I didn't want to be that bossy. That's fine.
Football battle, 25%. Looks like the worst one was at 96% we saw. Oh, here's one at 10%. Yushi. My DeFi pet token has 41% bots.
There's so much shit out there.
It's kind of crazy when you think about how dominant bots are in all of this, right? So I would say this: if you have a need for this product, it's great. I wonder if they have a token. Let's see what the story is with this project. Nope. All of their info is on Notion. The Web3 antibot. So this is really simple, but they've certainly demonstrated their value, and all you could do is inquire. But if they ever launch this as a protocol, if they ever launch this as a protocol with a token, I'm damn well gonna invest. I'll tell you that for my own personal.
I think Gustavo.
Does he want the list to the table? Here's the table. Oh, you know what? That link's not gonna come over to LinkedIn doesn't allow that. Let me see here. I'll put up a.
It's the one at the top, right? Gallery.
Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna put it on screen.
Yeah.
Show. There you go. That's the link to the table. So if that's what you're seeking, Gustavo, that's the one. So it's gallery.usejigger, JIGGER.com. So anyway, thought that was pretty interesting. And look, I think this speaks to an ongoing, issue problem in all of DeFi crypto is that, DeFi crypto, Twitter, Facebook, et cetera, bots are dominating everything in the space. So, it's kind of a mess. Anyway, thanks for listening, Gustavo.
Yeah, sometimes bots can be useful, though. That's the thing. I mean, I guess if you're running bots and they're all different users, that is inflating the community numbers. So that's not good.
And here's the question: how many of these bots are actually deployed by the protocols just to make them look good?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you some of that's happening. But I would say that if Jigger's tech is as good as it seems like, they have a very bright future. Being in that seed round would have probably been a very good thing.
Well, look, if you look at some of these, like how do they, okay, that's percentage that are bots. Okay, so look at that Ariva right there, top left, 87% bots.
Yeah.
57,000 token holders. So you got 7,630 that are real users instead of 57,000.
Yep.
That one you can't do much there. But you look at these ones down here that have a lot of users, but maybe they're in the 20s. I would think I'd want to know this information and go in and start cleaning out those bots.
Yeah. Because it's not fair to your users. Yeah, it's not fair to you. Like this one, lovely Inu Finance, you'd think they'd want to go clean that out, right? And while it's going to harm them and show them only having 18,000 token holders, it's better for your users. And I would make a big deal of announcing it. Hey,
market around that. Exactly. Yeah, market around that. Go and real.
Same with Radio Kaka. I really have to check out Radio Kaka because I really want to. I really want to know what the fuck Radio Kaka is. Don't you?
Yeah. Shitty radio, man.
Welcome to Raka.
Yeah, shit radio.
Mars 3D Metaverse, popular blockchain game, Metamon World, NFT marketplaces, and more. Is this Radio Kaka? Because this just says Raka. Radio Kaka. Yeah, Raka. Okay.
Mars 3D Metaverse.
Yeah. Explore Metamon World. 500,000 unique Metamons. I guess these are Metamons. I don't know. NFT marketplace. Launched in May of 2021. Raka is a community-driven decentralized DAO, boasting a large and experienced development team, hundreds of community volunteers, and a vast fan base. Raka has become a leading Web 3.0 solutions provider. Interesting.
So Yeah, so this is what's always peculiar to me when they're like a solution provider, but they're also a product company too. You know, product being game, but providing solutions to others like building. That shows they don't have
Yep.
enough to do in their core critical application that they have to go out and hustle
Exactly.
for money somewhere else. And so they're distracted from execution. So this is the
Yeah.
kind of stuff that I definitely red flagged this just because of that. Just because of doing other solutions work. I think everybody should be turned in on this project and busting their ass to make it a
Yep.
success. Not
Yeah. Yep.
coding some other project, but
There you go.
cleaning out those bots. What was their percentage? 35%? Something like that?
For this one,
Yeah, Radio Caca.
Radio
Oh, sorry, I
Caca.
didn't mean to make
Oh,
you back.
sorry. I just closed that. That was stupid. Okay. Radio Caca had 23%.
23. See, that's not bad.
I can't figure out how to get this off screen. Oh, there we go. All right. Look at this. Woo-hoo. Spaceman Brad. I guess this is their NFT gallery.
Oh, that's cool. It'd be cool if like you could press a button and have a Starbucks delivered to your desk.
That would be
Look
cool,
at your
wouldn't it?
NFT. Yeah.
Or pizza.
Yeah.
And if you guys can't hear the nice music playing in my headset from this. All right. Well, that was fun.
Don't get to shoot anybody?
I don't see any. I can't even like zoom out.
Pretend, though, of course. I'm not.
The music is very exciting.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? This game, I don't know if it was Sims or something, where you build these little complexes, you have these fights with like 20 other people, like a laser tag kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're guns. But it kind of has that feel, like users building.
I don't know what the hell there is besides like NFT galleries. It seems like that's all that's here. A bunch of NFT galleries. All right. Well, that was fun. Okay. What else we got?
The Luna stuff. No,
Luna.
sorry.
Yeah. Luna Classic pumps 70% on ambitions to wipe the past and revive the chain. I've been involved in a couple of these let's revive this project things. And Gustavo, that is called Radio Caca. It's one of the projects we were talking about in the thing. It looks like a guy running around looking at NFT galleries. I'm not sure what else is going on there. It didn't get a lot of interesting gameplay. But I don't know. Those lunatics were pretty fucking hardcore. Maybe.
Okay, I have a confession to make. I'm going to confess.
Oh no!
This stuff went in the shitter. Months ago, I bought some.
Nice.
And, I have watched this shit go up like crazy. And I sold half of it already.
Nice.
But still, for all the reasons
Joe's over there secretly running the revival of Luna Classic.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me pull up my server here.
That's friggin' awesome, dude.
I just, it was all those things. And I kept thinking about .com days. And I kept thinking about, Amazon going in the shitter like that, or all these other ones going in the shitter. I thought about, the Great Recession and Freddie and Fannie and, the insurance companies, all of the sub a buck, and they're all like hundreds of dollars now. And so I looked at this and I was kind of like, you never know.
It's true.
So, if I'm willing to throw $500 at Polka Bridge or Define or Syphilis Chain or, fucking Mad Hatter, or let's just go down the rebase ones, man. There's like a whole host of those debacles. I said, fuck it, let's just throw in to see what happens. And so it has been going up, obviously. I saw at one point it was up like 8,000%. But
what's it doing right now? What is it? It's Lunk, right? That's the symbol, Lunk?
Yeah. It's the original. It's the same. It's Luna, but it's called Lunk now. The other one is called Terra, which is like a $2 one or something like that.
Look at
and they're all over. They're on Phantom.
Dude,
there's like
Joe making bank.
But I did that on BTT too a couple of years ago, and it's like, with that much interest and that many VCs and that many people, there's going to be some kind of something.
It's almost $1 billion market cap still.
Yeah. They just got to
Damn.
trim out those like.
Are
6
people still
billion
building
tokens.
shit on there?
I have no fucking idea. I've never even I don't even look at it. It was just one of those ones where it's like, oh well, what the hell.
That's awesome, dude. I am so proud of you, Joe.
So put up a 3-month chart. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Amazing.
Yeah,
dude.
somewhere
That's
in that
awesome.
trough back there. No, but go back a little bit further. Go back a year. I want to see when it really went in the shitter. Okay. So that is, what do we got? That's, what's the date? May 13th.
May 13th.
Yeah, I wasn't that far down. I was a little bit further up from there. So
yeah,
I'm
but
not
you're
like
making
up
money.
Yeah, but I'm not up 800 or 8,000%.
So I want to know what the hell they're doing with it. I want to know what are they building? Are people still launching protocols on it? Are they trying to do a stable coin again?
Let's look at, is it still up on DeFi Llama?
Oh, let's look.
Because there was some stuff going. I mean, they're saying there's stuff going on. You know, all the VCs, everybody had money and it's trying to figure out how to get it.
Right?
I'm sorry?
12 million TVL. TVL has dropped by 12%. Everybody's selling because they got profit. TerraSwap is number 1. Pylon Protocol number 2. You know,
where is it in chains? What's the number in chains? Do you see
let me see. It's going to be way down because it's only got 12 million TVL locked. Hold on.
Okay, I see it down here around. Oh no, I don't see it on the. Oh, Terra Classic. Yeah, I see 30 protocols, 9 million in TVL. Number 63. Is this the right one?
Yeah, that's it. Terra Classic, Lunk.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really interesting, dude. I'm glad you made some money. That's awesome.
But look, you could throw $10 at it basically if you want and end up with probably 50,000 tokens or something.
Right.
I mean, it's not like if you're messing around and it's like a lottery ticket. Okay. I don't know.
It's like when I made that money on Titan. I walked, yeah. I held out for too much because I was a fucking idiot, but I still made money on it, But
I think this is the kind of thing where, it's a throw something at it and just forget about it. Because, think about all the shit survived from like 2018.
Oh my God. It's floating
around. And I'm like, why?
We should go through this fucking list and find all the ones that were dead and see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. And just do like, if you want to talk about like we're forked, we're fucked.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you pick everyone that's bottomed out, or we just put them up there and everybody does it on their own. So it's a little bit easier to deal with. But, just take positions in all of these. And, if you're the guy who's woke up one day and you're 25 and you don't have an education, you got 3 kids and you don't see a way out, and you're listening to this show, this is something to throw $5 at, dude. I mean, come on. I don't make any money. Come on. It's not going to help me out. But, this is, we talk about, it's going to be too much of a grind for you to grind up from $5 by trading everything else. This is shit that you just buy and throw under your mattress, basically, the equivalent of that, and go to work. And this could be the thing that makes it for you, but it is a lottery pick. Okay.
Of course. But if you're throwing money away on the lottery, this is probably a better lottery. Actually, if you think about it.
Because if it recovers anything at all, if that 50,000 gets to $1, you got 50 grand.
That'd be a fun DAO is like,
remember that company
puts in and then invest across all of these.
Remember that company at the end of .com called fuckedcompany.com?
Yeah.
You do a fund called Fucked DeFi or something. Fucked Project.
Yeah.
And you buy stakes in all these fucked projects. And, just throw in $100 and go buy a couple bucks of fucking Polydoge. You're going to have probably half the market cap. So, yeah. But maybe Brad, the white boy rapper that's loved in China, whatever that kid's name was. It was Brad too, I think. And, he was on a Lambo with a couple of Asian girls, and he's just, looks like he came out of Karate Kid, one of those like, Cobra Kai types, the blonde feathered hair or something.
Yeah.
I never heard of him. I'm not the big rapper.
Sean said, "How does Joe know my life?"
Yeah, you got the Lambo out in front of the pub. You got a couple of Guinnesses spilled all over that hot yellow top, and you're rolling around with a couple, and I don't know how to say it politely.
That's hilarious.
Across as an asshole, but
the Fed's launching Fed Now in July of 2023, and some of the rumors are that the reason they're doing it is they're kind of freaking out about stables and want some instant capabilities available in digital format for people.
I like it. So now the crypto protocols can go up to the bank window. I mean, that's actually pretty cool because
if they let them, right?
Yeah. Now you basically, they're not just going to let's start up. Hey, I want a company at the Fed Now window. I want to borrow $40 billion just for tonight. Right. I'll pay it back tomorrow. And then I'm going to go fucking drop it in a liquidity pool. Take it 100% overnight and then give it back to them. But the point is that there's a lot of rules to be declared, but this is a backstop. So like if Terra, hypothetically speaking, let's say Terra had a seat at the window and their shit starts going bad, they can go in and get liquidity backstopped right then and there. To stop the free fall. And again, I'm paraphrasing and I'm way oversimplifying this, but I think it's a good thing for crypto. Now it's going to come with a lot of regulation. Okay. And a lot of, they're not going to be any undoxed teams accessing the Fed window. I can tell you that.
No.
So you're going to have to play with the big boys.
Sifu's at the Fed Now window.
Exactly. Sifu's there with Danny. And they're in their
fucking dude. I listened to the Danny fucking AMA while I was doing something else last night.
Yeah.
And this guy, the AMA was all about him. They did that inquiry. I talked about it the other day. They did that inquiry where they were like, "You're not showing up. You're not doing what you're supposed to. Who's the mystery signer on the wallet? Blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
He was the arrogance, his belief that somehow he can just bullshit out and say whatever he wants and everyone will just say it's okay. I mean, it's just amazing. I listened to it and I was in so much pain. I was like, oh my God, this just is so cringe. It's just everything about this is just brutal. I can't believe people aren't just like shredding him, coming up on stage and just devastating him, but they're all scared to, right? Because he's the all-knowing, all-powerful guru that has led them for so long. And then after the AMA, on the AMA, he said, "Okay, everybody raise your hand if you're satisfied with that answer," blah, blah, blah. And he just kind of pushed them past. After the AMA, they did another poll and asked the members of the DAO if they thought the answers were good enough. And it was like 78% not good enough. I mean, it's just a train wreck. I feel bad for those people that believed in this guy and decided to stay in that shit because they're going to regret it. Although they have a shit ton of money. So if they can wrestle control away from him, they do have a shit ton of money. So, and you can turn that into a viable product. It could be a venture capital firm that he promised it was going to be. It could be a lot of the things that they said they were going to do, but he's not done any of them.
Just a quick question how's Olympus been doing? I haven't heard anything lately. So.
Yeah, so actually, I keep track of it. I'm in a couple of. I'm in a couple of groups on Twitter that of a bunch of original kind of whales in there. They are continuing to build and continuing to grow and build products around it. All of them far too complex for the average dude to understand, and that's one of their biggest problems. They are still building. They are still encouraging and funding teams outside of it to build on top of it. And I know there's some activity happening. One of my favorite people in DeFi, Asfi, is launching an entire, I think he called it Olympus Scholars course that will take people through understanding the mechanics of it, how it functions, etc., and helping people kind of get an understanding of the complexities of Olympus. But it's just kind of maintaining right now. I wouldn't say there's anything I guess, exciting coming out right now.
Well, because that was our theme last year. We were always like, you get the war chest, and you go off and acquire protocols, and you build and you expand. How have they been doing on that mission of like
I don't
executing?
think I don't think they've done any more acquisitions except for the ones I could have missed them. But
Sure.
at the beginning of the year, they did some big investments in a couple of different protocols. They put money into other protocols. They are part of the mess over at Ferrari. And
right.
the community is owed a bunch of money, but I don't know. I don't know all the details of any
Okay.
other investments they've made since then. So,
But you're happy with their attempt at executing?
I don't feel like it's like being abandoned, but I don't think
A,
they're
B, or
doing.
C. Great at A,
Huh?
B, or C. A, B, or C on
C.
execution. C.
And here's why. The execution operationally may be great. The execution from a developer perspective may be great, but the execution from a fucking messaging communication perspective is not great, right? They're not doing anything to get people excited about using the protocol. And maybe that's their goal. Maybe their goal is just to use the protocol on the back end for protocols and treasuries to utilize as the reserve coin. I don't know, but they're not communicating it. It's not something I'm jumping back into right now, despite the fact that I have a lot of faith in the tech and the people, because I don't know what the fuck they're doing with it.
Yeah.
And I don't have the time to become a fucking Olympus scholar, and they need to. I'd like to see them do a much better job of biz dev integrations and that have an impact on the protocol and communicating how anybody's going to use this in the future.
So what's the whole Olympus Scholar program? Is it 3,3?
No, look, I think it's just helping people understand all the concepts built into the bonding mechanisms, et cetera, in the Olympus infrastructure, how it functions, what can be built on it, et cetera. I retweeted a tweet from Asfi about it. So anyway, one more thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's just cool because we want to see that, because, I stay on top of Clima just to see what's going on there, and, and all the ones we've talked about, over the last year. So that's one that I just always felt like, not Clima, but that they could actually execute into something decent. Because it wasn't a cult of personality there.
No, and the underlying
he was pretty mellow, dude.
Yeah, and the underlying mechanisms, the underlying engine is very sophisticated from a financials perspective. It's shit that you would see in the TradFi world plus. And so it's kind of disappointing, but maybe they're working on things I don't see. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is real quick and we got to get out of here. My little quick methodology of research using job ads. So I saw a job ad for this project called Superform. And the job description gave a little bit more detail, but essentially the idea behind this is supposed to be, but they're not disclosing much. They're doing very much the stealth thing, but they're basically calling this in their website a way of making yield from other protocols composable so that they can be combined in together into multiple yield products, right? And they claim cross-chain. So I went into their Twitter and I noticed that they're heavily advocating for ERC 4626, which is that new vault standard, the tokenized vault standard, right? That Joey Santoro at Fay is responsible for having written that standard. So I'm very curious. I'm going to ping him later today to find out if this is his project or not, because it would make sense for him, kind of in all the hullabaloo of what's been going on with Rari and Faye, to have this kind of a project being built. But it sounds like a really cool. Yeah, it sounds like a really cool project. I signed up for their list, but I'm going to try to climb in and see what other research I can do to find out what the hell's actually going on here and who's involved, because it sounds very cool, but they're being very quiet. They did launch another site called ERC4626.info, which is the one I think we've looked at before on the show. Yeah, it is. It's this one that just explains 4626. Again, Joey Santoro built this site, I know, with some other folks that are involved in the new ERC 4626 standards. So my suspicions are that this is going to end up being something Joey's involved with, but I have zero proof that he is involved with it at this point. So I'm going to ask him, though, and see what he says.
Well, when they're talking about composable yield, that sounds kind of interesting.
Very interesting. It sounds like a really cool concept.
Yeah, where you can basically, hopefully it's more user friendly than like say the curves of the world.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because every time I'm like in one of these platforms, they're like, "Oh, go dump these little stables into a curve protocol," and I'm like, "What the frig's the point?"
Yeah.
For like 0.35% APR, I'm going
Exactly.
to do all of
Exactly.
that shit. No, I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it. So
No,
I
I
hope this
totally
one
agree.
comes off something really more like you said, where you're just dragging a block or something and stacking them up or doing whatever to get the additional yield.
I
And it's
think what
user
it's going to
friendly.
be is going to be something like Yearn, where if you have the basic development skills, you can build your own yield vaults using this platform. But I don't know what they're doing, but it's interesting nonetheless. And it's more of kind of a mystery for me to try to track down and figure out.
Superform.
Yeah, Superform. I think it's superform.xyz. Twitter handle is superformxyz, and the website is superform.xyz.
I just want to get it over here.
Cool. That's all I got for today, Joe.
Yeah, I don't really have we covered everything. Nothing extra. But yeah, good show. Good show, man. I hope everybody
all right,
liked what we
guys, have a
talked
great
about
day.
today.
Thank you, Gustavo, Sean, and Shizzy, all for participating and adding to the conversation. We appreciate you. We love you. We love all of you for listening and watching. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us grow. Share us on Twitter. Click the little bell on YouTube, and feel free to add your feedback and comments to any of the videos that we have on our channel there. We do appreciate it. If you have any thoughts, comments, or feedback or ideas for guests, please don't hesitate to message me, DM me on Telegram and Twitter, B05Crypto, B05Crypto, and on Discord, B05Crypto, pound 2143. Hope all of you have a fantastic day. Joe, I hope you have a great afternoon.
Hey, you too as well. And thanks everyone for listening. Talk to you tomorrow.